Hello and welcome all you February people to another colour reading from Karen's Colours. This time it's for July 2026. Now, if you've been here before, then you know what to expect. I'm Dr. Karen and I give general colour readings for each of you to see how your next month will develop. If you haven't been here before, well, then you probably find this a little unusual, but find yourself extremely welcome all the same. June was a bit of a mixed bag for most of us, and if you had a little bit of a problem, then I hope that by the end of the month it has sorted itself out. Certainly, July offers us another start to a different month. And as a general reading, take what resonates and please leave aside what doesn't. You might even like to come back towards the end of the month to see just how it fared for you. So let's begin then, shall we? Now, before I begin, this month we're going to be taking one of the oracles from the Treasures of Takashi. Self-recognition. Yes, recognize yourself. You are a wonderful spiritual being expressing in a body. Now is the time to feel good about you. Make a list of your skills and attributes and discover yourself lovingly. Do not look to others. You do not need approval or recognition outside of yourself. Others may not be recognizing you at this time. Have patience and feel good on the inside. New opportunities are around. Be sure to recognize them. All right, let's get some colors for people born in February to see where their July will take them. And the strength we have here is cyan on orange. The obstacle is cyan on blue. And the underlying energy is pink on green. Cyan on orange. Cyan represents what you actually do as a result of the need, drive, or motivation, which is represented here by orange. Orange internally is always an ability or a need to show that you are confident, that you are courageous, that you can survive whatever is thrown in your direction. And in this instance, because this is your strength, that ability to survive anything, to be gregarious, comes through in the real world as a fair degree of contentment. You are happy with the way in which your life is proceeding. The orange internally allows you to be sociable. It allows you to confront anything that needs to be confronted. And when you do so, quite often in the way in which you express yourself verbally as well as intellectually, there is here an ability to create some sort of harmony and peacefulness that exudes friendliness, as well as that ability to deal with anything that comes from inside. So between them, the cyan and orange are able to create for you a situation where you get things done because you are able to lead others towards them. Now, cyan and orange, while they are not exactly opposites on the color wheel, are fairly close. And here we have the likelihood that there is some hidden brown in here. Brown is about goals and aspirations, but it's also practical skills. You are able to create what you want out of life because you have the confidence to get out there and to try those things. And when you do so, you generally find that you are successful. Now, the interesting thing here is that that very same contentment and quiet comes through as the obstacle in the same position. But what is causing that quiet as an obstacle is also able to cause it as stagnation. Nothing moves, nothing changes. It's the same old, day in and day out. And why is that? Because internally here, you have the driver, the blue, which is all about duty and responsibility and the need to get things done and to get them done without complaint, without recriminations. This is basically the shut up, get on with the job, do as you're told, and don't complain driver. That in the real world means that while you work very, very hard, you don't actually accomplish very much, or what you do accomplish is not appreciated. Now, the interesting thing here is that when we look at these two together, you can see that orange and blue as the underlying drivers are the true opposites on the color wheel. And as such, they're the ones that create the brown. But brown being split across, or brown, the color of goals and aspirations, being split across the strength and the weakness, gives you a sensation of never really, not only not knowing what it is that you want to accomplish, but not being able to accomplish it even when you attempt to do so. So what do we have here as the underlying energy in between these two? Because the underlying energy works both on the strength as well as on the weakness. And here we have pink on green. Green as the driver internally is asking you to find something new, to start off a new life, to head off in a different direction, to let go of the past, to allow yourself to stop feeling regret for what you haven't accomplished in the past and get on with finding something new. But in the real world, the way in which you do this, or the way in which it needs to be accomplished, is by letting go and allowing yourself to become vulnerable enough so that you attract towards you those things that will enable you to take advantage of opportunities when they show themselves. That often involves having to take on the role of the supplicant, the role of the baby. Someone else has to come to your assistance. And when they do so, you find that an entirely new world opens itself up for you. The drive towards newness and the ability to face that newness as though you were a baby learning all about life for the very first time. Now, how do these colours interact? Well, let's look at what we've got firstly. We have cyan on orange. We have pink on green, and we have cyan on blue. So let's now see what happens when we take the strength and the underlying energy and we combine those. Now, firstly, the first thing we note is that cyan and pink, as a combination of what you actually do in the real world, is perhaps the loveliest of all of the combinations. It's bliss and contentment, as well as love and acceptance. With this combination, this is what we call the contented baby. You are able in your world to create the sort of situation where you feel exactly as though everything in your life could not be better, even if you wanted to make changes to create a difference. Things are contented, things are happy. You are well fed, well nurtured, well looked after, you feel loved. The things that are driving this are orange and green. Orange is confidence, as we know. Green is the search for new pastures. Orange and green together, while not opposites on the colour wheel by any means, certainly do work in opposition to one another. Green says, get away, find yourself somewhere different. Orange says, stand and confront. Be able to overcome whatever is. So the orange enables you to stand up, to feel confident, to survive an issue. The green says, oh, don't bother about that, just leave the past behind and take off in a new direction. Now, we can actually cross over those underlying drivers to give us more information as to how these function. Here we have now the cyan over green. Instead of being the search for or the ability to create peace and stability in your life engendered by the need to confront whatever issues there are, now here that is created because you are able to find space. You're able to get away from things. You can let the past go, and in doing so, create a new perfect life for yourself. On the other hand, you also have the ability to confront whatever it is that is preventing you from feeling as though you are happy and content, but also loved. The being able to stand up and demand that somebody helps you with something, being confident enough to allow others to come into your life and to give you what you need. These are all your strengths. When we take that underlying energy and we link it with the weakness, we have a slightly different outlook. Once again, we still have this ability in the real world to create a perfect, blissful life. But because it's an obstacle, unlike here where the blissful life is exactly what you want, here it's just discontented or discontentment with the fact that you can't do anything on your own. You can't do anything to change things. Yet this combination here is the ability to create change. So when we add the ability to create change to this stagnation that comes from overwork, we can look at it this way. Now, the interesting thing here is that the cyan on green is exactly what we got before with the cyan on green as part of your strength. So it's not just a strength, it's also a weakness. It's also an obstacle. You are able to create the freedom that you need to create that wonderful, blissful, harmonious life when it's a strength. But when it's a weakness, it's as though you're constantly trying to get away from the fact that you are bored. And that is the thing that drives you to continually want to make changes. As well as that, the other obstacle that you need to overcome is the fact that here we have pink over blue. Blue is the need to get on with the job, do as you're told, don't complain. In other words, do your duty. Make sure that the responsibilities you've taken on are being carried out. In the real world, though, you've run out of energy. There's no way that you can complete everything that you are expected to do, and so you find yourself gradually becoming less and less engaged with whatever those duties and responsibilities were. You need assistance. And so that's the obstacle that occurs here. So how do we deal with these? Let's have a look at what happens if we take on the colours that are missing. Well, for a start, there's no black. There's no white. There's no red. There's no yellow or brown or grey or purple. These 7 colors represent the skills that you're currently not using throughout the month of July, yet they can be useful to you. Black is all about being able to withdraw, to remove yourself from whatever it is that is in your life in the here and now, and to give yourself time out, time to recuperate, time to recover, time to reconsider. White, on the other hand, is its opposite. It's moving forward. It's allowing things to happen, to have new experiences, to be curious about whatever it is that is out there that could be different, seeking of novelty. The red is all about the gathering together of energy, becoming passionate about something, desiring something, being determined that you're going to accept something or achieve something. So the red is very much associated with impulsivity. Yellow is all about learning and memory and being able to digest information, overcoming fears, finding happiness. Brown, although it's hidden in here, certainly is not a color in its own right that you've got available to you. It's about those skills that are associated with the goals that you have. What is it that you want to achieve in life? Do you have a particular ambition? How are you going to achieve it? What practical measures are you taking? Grey is about finding that middle road between the black and the white, the getting away from things, the allowing yourself to be experiencing anything at all. Finding that middle path that stops you from feeling uncertain or confused about what extremes are being pulled at you. And finally, we have purple. Purple is about healing. It's about fixing what is wrong in your life. But purple only ever is needed when something has gone wrong. So it's both creative and destructive energy. But it's also energy of a great deal of having fun, because when you have purple in your life, it means that there are changes that are happening, and they're happening quite rapidly. So of those 7 colors, which is the one that's most appealing and which is the one that's least appealing? Add those 2 into your life and let's see where it takes you, because you need to do something about the fact that you are both contented and bored at the same time. Well, if nothing else, July certainly seems to be becoming a very interesting month indeed. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed this reading and that you take away from it or from the treasure of Takashi something that will benefit you throughout the month of July. Until we meet again, may the colors of your life bring you all of the joy and happiness that you require for your own higher good. Catch you next time. Bye.